Hello friends, Mark Holmes here, and as always I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of Joe Boo's day job. Um, Sitting here working on replacing boards on the deck. You can see the boards themselves have checked quite a bit. Some of them have actually started, kind of rotting a bit. Even though the backside, you can see, isn't so bad, but it's time to be replaced. And it was funny because I was actually talking to my cousin who ended up working on his deck. He ended up buying this deck rejuvenator stuff that you put on the deck, that you paint it on there, and it rejuvenates your deck. It makes it look totally different. Comes in all different kinds of colors. And he did that last year. And the problem for him is it's peeling and coming up. The reason being is it's really, really difficult to get anything to stick to the wood when it's been out there in the weather for all those years. Think about the wood itself right here. The moisture that's in this is inside of it, and when you seal it up, it's trying to leave, which is one of the reasons why you never want to seal a deck as soon as you put it down. You want to wait for several days of no rain, and you want it to sit out there and let the sun kind of bake it before you seal it up, because that moisture is going to boil almost inside of it and try to be relieved. It'll turn into vapor and go out. And this brought up in my mind, because as I'm working, I always do a lot of thinking. One of the reasons why I hate shows that are, how-to shows on TV, when I see them, knowing that I've been doing stuff since I was 10 years old. We started putting an addition on my parents' house, which is still standing. And literally being up on that roof now, thinking that I was a 10-year-old kid, some 45 years later, it's still there. The same drywall, the wiring, and everything else, because we built it correctly. So many times I watch these shows and they give you bullshit. They will make everything look pretty, because here's the thing. You get what you pay for. If you end up buying a fan that looks cute, but it's on sale, and stay away from stuff that say special purchase. Special purchase means we change the specs so that way it'll cost less. We're going to mass produce this so that way we can throw it out there. And what it'll do is there'll be a higher profit margin for the seller. The quality is not necessarily there, but it's made so that way we can give you a low price point, but we've got a bigger profit margin in there. So you look at this and say, well, I could spend $249 for this drill, right? Or I could spend $129 for this lower one. They look the same, but they don't last the same. That $129 drill, you may end up having to go through 3 of those before you would go through the bigger one. In my workshop, I've got tools that I bought back in the 80s. My table saw, my drill press, I bought them in 1989. They're still being used now. I've since bought other table saws to have on the job site. I've probably bought 7 or 8 of them. They're just not built to last. And as I look at fixtures, and it was kind of funny because my wife wanted to redo our bathroom, our third bathroom. And I said, we need to just gut it out and start it all over. Last time we did it was when we first moved there 17 years ago. And I know the vanity that we put in there, we bought, it's made out of particle board. It's time to start over. My wife, from watching D.I.Y, I think that's it. Yeah. D.I.Y, says we can paint it. And see, that's where they get you. They go through and they put all of this great looks and things like that. They'll buy stuff that looks fantastic when you put it there, but it may not last. And that brought me full circle back around to my cousin, who, instead of saying, I need to put new deck boards on there, he went through and he bought this stuff to roll right onto the deck. It looked great last summer. Problem is, this summer, it's peeling off. And now you've got an even bigger problem than you had before. So be careful what you watch, and understand that it's better to build something to be overbuilt to last you than just for that instant situation. In my mind, what I always say to myself, if it's buying a tool or something out of there, is Am I getting what's going to do the job? Am I getting something that's going to last? Is it going to be something that can help me increase the money that I make? Then it's a worthwhile expense. So if you end up looking at a faucet, and that faucet is $29, oh, I can just put that in there. Here's the thing. That $69 faucet that's maybe a Delta as opposed to a Glacier Bay will last a lot longer than that other one will. And what you don't put into it is the cost of having to change it later. Because if you're not the one putting it in, if you're bringing in a plumber, that plumber is going to charge you when he comes back to replace it. So get good materials and do it the right way. Don't skip. Don't ever, and I mean ever, put tile on top of tile. Yes, they do make glues that are made for doing that, but it's not the proper way to do it. Rip all that stuff out, make sure there's no leaks behind it, make sure that everything is structurally sound. Put your cement board on there, build your new curb, do the tile over. Do it right the first time. And that's what I want to leave you guys with. That's what I've tried to do all my life. That's why my parents' additions are still standing 45 years later. Don't take the easy way out or the shortcuts, because those things will come back to bite you in the ass. That's why these are coming up, and we're going to put new ones down. Now, one final thought here. Probably saying, why don't you go ahead and use those composites so that way you don't have to change wood again? I'm old school. I just don't like the composites. I know they'll last forever. I put them down for people all the time. They look great. The thing on me is they still, they're getting the different generations on them. They still cost quite a bit, but they still get a little bit slick when it gets wet. And my house, we get a lot of algae that grows because of the shade and the moisture and all that. And I slip them. I slip. So that's just where I'm just a wood guy. Hence the wood board. Okay. I've talked enough. Now it's time to get this stuff off of here. Get this deck fixed. I'm Mark Holmes. And if you have any questions on some home improvements or home repairs, or something you'd like to see a video on, leave a comment down in the chats. And if I don't know it, I'll find the answer for you. See you later.